sitting on one of those round couches they have in the hallways. They had their suitcases, and they looked distressed. And as a human being, as somebody that cares about folks, that had an impact on me. And we're hearing the stories, and we get the frustration that folks are having. There's life-changing events happening across the globe. There's people that have lost family members. There's medical appointments. There's vacation, and people need to be able to enjoy some time in the summer with their families. And we are, as Candace said, and as we've all said, we are sorry that they are being caught up in this.
When it comes to the negotiations, when was the last time there's been contact? Have you reached out to Air Canada to say, hey, while this is all going on, can we just get back to the table?
I'm not sure when the last contact was made, but we have made it very clear that we're all still here at this hotel, and while we enjoy room service, we're not here for a holiday. We're not here for a vacation. We're here to do the work. We're here to negotiate a collective agreement. The employer is not here. We want to get a deal, but it takes two sides to commit to meeting and to working through some of the challenges that are facing us.
For the general public who may be confused by this, I mean, it does sound like you're sort of waiting for a call. Is that what you're waiting for?
Not necessarily waiting for a call, waiting for something for the employer to show up and say they're ready to bargain.
Would it be worth calling and say, hey, let's
I believe there has been some. We have reached out to the employer. I think Wesley did that today or last night. So
And what was the response?
I don't know. Wesley, do you want to talk to that?
There's been no response from the employer.
No response.
Nothing.
When was the last time negotiations were actually happening at the table?
That would have been Friday night. Friday night.
For the sake of the broader labor movement, and you kind of alluded to it answering Sean's question, there's no turning back here for you guys. Is that how you see it? Like, this is something that you need to see to the end, either solution through the resolution at the bargaining table, or just an unending defiance of the law. One or the other.
None of us want to be in defiance of any law. That's not our. I'm trying to answer the question. None of us want to be in defiance of the law, but as we've said repeatedly, we're going to stay committed to those workers that are walking the line. You know, the employer has, or the government has said that we should go to binding arbitration. And binding arbitration is sometimes a solution that some unions will work. We're already in the courts on 107. The fact that the government has used 107 in this case and in previous cases sends a very strong message to my union, but also to the labor movements in the public. And we will get through the courts. I'm very optimistic that we will be successful in the courts. But as I said yesterday, and I've said a number of times, we're looking at 10 years probably before this works its way through the courts. And our members do not have 10 years to wait to have their rights restored.
Did you prepare any consequences, or what are the consequences of the continuing strike?
Sorry?
What are the consequences of the continuing strike? Just like government goes back to work and strike continuing. What are the consequences?
We'll find out. I mean, there's a variety of options, I guess, that could happen. But again, our resolve is with those women and those men that are walking the picket line that need to be fairly compensated for their time.
Mark, what kind of support are you getting from other unions in Canada right now? Because this is a defining moment for trade union movement in many ways.
Yeah, it's a bit of deja vu from a few years ago when we were fighting the Conservative government here in Ontario with our education workers. We're seeing support from the Congress. There was a CLC meeting last night of the Canadian Council where support was unanimous from unions, public sector unions, private sector unions, Canadian unions, international unions. It was very reassuring for Candace and I to be on that call with all of these labor leaders who not only said that they supported us, but that they would, of course, act as things approach, as we continue moving forward. So, I mean, in the union movements, there's a lot of solidarity, and solidarity is not just a word. We saw it a few years ago when we were fighting Bill 28. I don't have any concrete examples of what that means at this point, but we're very assured that the rest of the labor movement will be supporting us through thick and thin.
Some of the flight attendants outside have said that some of their colleagues are stranded overseas because of the job action, because of the shutdown of service. Can you just tell us about some of the flight attendants who are stuck in other
I'm going to ask Wesley to answer that, but I can assure you that we've been dealing with the employer on this, and it's the employer's responsibility to make sure that those workers are safe. We've also said that if the employer is not going to take those steps, then CUPE will make sure that those folks are safe.
Have you received any messages from the government or law enforcement about obey the order, or do you have any kind of fine or something like?
No, there's no indication of what fines or other things may look like at this point.
Have you heard directly from the Labour Minister at all?
I have not talked to Patty since Minister Hayduke since Friday night.
And just to be clear on what you're saying here, is what's the CUPE's direction in terms of what you're telling your flight attendants about striking right now?
We're telling our flight attendants we're going to support them. We're going to continue to support them. We're not going to abandon them. We're not going to leave them in the lurch. We are going to continue to support them. We're here to do whatever it takes to get a collective agreement that works for them and their families.
So plan is to continue striking?
Pardon me?
Plan is to continue striking?
Yes.
For the stranded flight attendants, can you just tell me a little bit more about that, just how many are stranded, and again, the supports that are being provided?
Yeah, sure.
Let's do answer that.
Yeah, so we're thinking there's a couple hundred that are out there. I wouldn't necessarily call them stranded. They just don't understand when they're going to be coming home, obviously, because the airline's not functioning. All of them have hotels. All of them have expenses. If there's any issues, they've been reaching out to myself or any other union executives. We've tied up with unions in the United States to offer EAP support. We have a robust EAP support here as well. Our Health and Safety Committee is around the clock 24/7, so they're very well looked after by us. We haven't heard anything from the company on any challenges on that front, so we trust they're being looked after. And many of them, as far as I was made aware this morning, have made their way home, whether that be on passes or deadheading home. So, pardon me, Employee Assistance Program.
Mark, did you get any sense from other union leaders that this could manifest in wider work stoppages in other unions?
We haven't gone there with those folks, but their support was very clear. And when we were in that dispute a few years ago, discussions were ongoing about what that support would look like, which included shutting down other work sites. So we're not at that point now. That's not a threat, it's just a possibility, and I know those leaders of other unions have been extremely supportive, and I know that they're paying very close attention to what's happening here, not only because they support CUPE, they support our members that are walking those lines, but also because they may be next, and we've seen a few other unions impacted by 107, so some of them have already been impacted, and others are going into bargaining, and 107 seems to be a tool that this government is using very, very often.
You could pay millions and thousands of dollars in fine. Is the CUPE ready for this? Do you have a special fund that could you afford it?
Well, of course, we don't want to be spending money, members' money on fines. Having said that, we also have a responsibility, morally and otherwise, to these workers. And if there are fines, I had a message to Premier Ford a few years ago, and my message is very much the same. If you're going to fine us or you're going to try and take us on financially, then you can take us to court and we can see where that plays out.
Just back to the scheduling of flight attendants, Mark. Have flight attendants been scheduled to come back to work? In other words, is the onus on them not to respond according to the scheduling system? I'm just wondering about the mechanics of that right now. Because the airline says we're going to get back to business today. So were they getting messaged, or can you illuminate a little bit how they're being directly contacted?
I can't answer the contact piece, but I can tell you that if Air Canada thinks that planes will be flying this afternoon, they're sorely mistaken. That won't be happening today. Wesley, do you want to talk to the scheduling or no?
Yep. Morale of some of your members on the CUPE line. Are they feeling more emboldened today than they were, on day one of this? Or are they starting to, lose faith that this is actually going to go their way? The longer this goes, the more direction there is from the Fed and from the board.
I haven't actually been out on the line today. I'm going to go there a little bit later on this afternoon. But I can tell you that all of these members, these workers, nobody wants to be walking the line. There is some fear that something may happen to them as individuals. We've been reassuring them from the national union as well as the locals that we will have their backs. We will support them, each and every one of them, and that they have the full support of our 750,000 members across this country and the full weight of the national union as well as our locals and the component.
Mark, you've been at the front end of a lot of strikes or labor action. Have you ever had 99% plus on vote in, buy-in?
Not that I know. I mean, we have our locals range in size, right? From
Well, what does it mean at 99 plus?
oh, it's amazing. It's absolutely about a strong, obviously 100% is the only stronger number that you can have, but to have 99% plus support for a strike vote, and also the percentage of folks that actually participated in that. I've seen strike votes over the years where they're very high, but the percentage of members that have voted might be 60 or 70%. Here, very much like, again, like the education workers, that was a very high strike vote, and it was a very high number of members that participated in that. There's a lot of similarities. This strike vote is higher than that one, so I think that should send a strong message to the employer and to the government.
What's the latest communications you had with the Canadian Industrial Relations Board?
There was a hearing last night, so that was the latest, and there was an order delivered this morning.
So you won't answer because you had until noon to answer to have a written statement to understand that this won't happen today?
What kind of statement? Sorry.
It says that Jamie mentioned it that you had until noon to make like a public statement.
Oh, okay. Well, that's part of the reason we're having this press conference, is letting folks know that while we're very sympathetic and we don't want Canadians caught on this, but we will not be returning to the skies this afternoon.
On that note, I mean, obviously public opinion is so delicate on this.
It is.
Air Canada flies a vast majority of the flights domestically, internationally out of this country. How closely do you monitor any public opinion that could quickly shift against you if this drags on days?
Yeah. No, I mean, obviously, we're paying attention to what's happening in the world, including, how folks are feeling. We don't let polls dictate the actions of a union in any way, shape, or form, but we are paying attention, and as Candace noted, regardless of the polling, we are very, we're very sorry for the impact on Canadian people, and that's unfortunate that they're caught up in this. And it's not going to change our resoluteness. It's not going to change what we're doing as a union, but we do pay attention to it.
Is it possible your view is going to change at all today? In other words, Solidarity, the bargaining committee, and the whole executive, are you all in on this, or could that change today?
Hell yeah, we're all in on this. Like I said a number of times, we're here for those workers, and like you've heard, I fly a lot. I'm the national president, and Candace and others fly a lot. We get to spend a lot of time in the air and on the ground with these folks, and we're there for sometimes delayed an hour or two or three, and that's inconvenient for me and the public. But for those workers, for those flight attendants, they're working those 3 hours, those 4 hours, and not getting paid a dime, and that's just unforgivable. And that's what this is about. We want to make sure that those women and men get the pay that they deserve and that they're entitled to.
Last question, guys.
Will you go back to members at all in the next 48 hours to see where their heads are at on this?
We're talking to our members all the time, and there was a meeting last night from the components, and there was thousands of folks on there. And they are still very strong in their support for the union and the action. Absolutely. Well, we're in contact with our members all the time. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Is that mine?
No, it's a report.
Oh, looks like mine. That'd be a bad thing if I took your phone, eh?
Do you know what time you're going back to LA?
Pardon me?
Do you know what time you're going to go over there?
No, probably in an hour or so. As soon as we can. We got a staff meeting, don't we? I'm not sure, maybe an hour or two.
Okay, thank you.
Strike pay, I thought about it, we haven't, I don't know if we talked about that.
Do it from the podium.